We are here. Hold on, let me switch it around. In Turku, Finland. This is actually a place I lived. I was an exchange student here back, way back in the high school days. And I used to go to that church right there. And we actually used to meet our friends because we all went to different schools around town. We actually would meet before we go out drinking, as 18-year-old high school kids do in Finland. We'd actually meet on the steps of the cathedral before we go out. And when you're here in Turku, it's actually the old capital of Finland. So there are some pretty nice buildings around to check out. But one thing you'll notice, you won't see a lot of wooden buildings because Turku has had so many fires over the years that there's literally a law that you can't build with like big buildings with wood here anymore. So kind of interesting. But here's a library. Fun thing about that library there, I actually had, when I lived here back in the 90s, I actually had a Sherlock Holmes book I forgot to return. And I came back like 10 years later and turned it in, thinking I was going to get a fine or anything. Like, oh, we just wrote it off because we thought it was lost. But thank you. So they took the book. They were very nice. Hey, Stuart, good to see you, buddy. So I was here a few years ago with Jocelyn and the boys. You'll see some pictures and videos from here. If you watch some of our old Turku videos and Finland videos, some nice little cafes. And what's cool is when you come to Turku, yes, you have the pretty buildings. Hold on, let me switch back. Oops. I love how these gimbals are so not intuitive. It's really, really weird. Mary Ellen, good to see you. One of the things that's really, we'll get there. See, now I forgot what I was going to talk about because I was so not ready for it. But we were here with the family a while ago. And so the boys were, there's actually a really good picture of Jocelyn making the heart in front of there, which I like to use in some videos. But this phone is nowhere near as good for selfie filming, I'll tell you. But anyway, one of the cool things about being here in Turku, Stuart's going to Prague, very nice, is you have the Outer River here. And check it out. There's bars down there you can go to and cross the way, but people just like to hang out on the river on nice sunny days like this. And what you have to realize, it's like, I don't know, 7:30 at night or something, almost 8 o'clock, and the sun is still up there in the sky because here in Finland, we're so far north, you just have light all night long. So it's kind of one of those things. But I'll just walk around. We're just going to walk up and down the river today, give you all a little show of the city. Have a rough idea of what's there. We ate here a couple years ago. Their food was pretty good. Sorry. This gimbal, I think it's time for me to get a new gimbal because this thing is not going any direction I want it to. Anyway, so you'll see as we go by, you have a lot of people that'll, the friends will get together to hang out down by the river. And the Finns love, whenever the weather gets nice enough to be outside, they're going to be outside for sure. Hey, Pedro in Lisbon, good to see you. Turku is on the water. There's actually a port down by the castle. The castle is a little bit too far to walk tonight, but you can go down there, and there's actually ferries from here that go to Stockholm. And a lot of times they're party ferries, but they're still a fun time. Even if you're not partying, but you can take the ferry over to Stockholm from here. So there is that. Let's see. What's funny is it doesn't show me the comments. There we go. Is beer expensive like Sweden and Denmark? Beer is not cheap here. Sweden is not cheap. I'm not going to lie to you. However, I will say, in comparison to how it used to be, I can see how the years of European Union competition have driven down the prices for things here in Finland. Not down, like low, but more affordable range, I would say. But it's still not cheap. But it is nowhere near Sweden or Denmark. So it is a little bit better that way than if you're considering a Scandinavian Northern European destination, you're going to be okay here versus, Norway or Sweden or Denmark. Oh, Marianne, let's go to the Carnival Celebration November. But it's still being built. Hopefully it will get finished while you're there. Now what's cool is you look over here, you have all these bars. There's bars and cafes along here. There's also some museums along the waterfront as well that you can check out when you're here. Now, one thing that is interesting is if you are coming to Finland, people don't usually talk about Finnish food. And maybe there's a reason for that, but you don't see too many Finnish ravintolas all over, where you see trattorias for Italian food and tapas bars for Spanish food. But there are some decent foods here in Finland. Sounds weird, but your meatballs and mashed potatoes and lingonberry stuff you're used to hearing from your IKEA stores, well, they do a thing here too, and it's actually pretty good. You'll see reindeer pop up occasionally, which is nice. But for me, it's like the little snack things are pretty good here. They have this thing, it's called like a Karelian pie, which is like a rye bread case, it's like the size of your hand, like this. And then inside of it, they put in a rice porridge, rice pudding kind of thing. And then it's mentioned like butter, but made out of I guess you'd say it was made out of eggs, with the best way to put it. And they spread it on there. That's my favorite breakfast thing. Or I'll get it on the train when I'm coming in, but that's a nice little snack you do they have here. But fish like salmon, all kinds of good stuff, really good soups here. But anything you have with mushrooms here are fantastic, because that's actually one of the things people like to be out in nature here. That's why you see people just lined up along the riverfront, and they just like being outside on a beautiful evening. But mushroom hunting is a big thing. So if you're here and someone asks you, oh, you want to go out in the woods and go mushroom hunting, they're not trying to pull you off and snipe hunting you. They're actually going to go mushroom hunting. You actually will eat the stuff you find. Though I will tell you, one of the first times I went was with one of my host families. And I was so excited because I was right outside their summer cottage. There's this big one. I'm like, oh, there's one right there. I went down to grab it, and they're like, no, that one's poisonous. I'm like, ah. So I was kind of traumatized my first time doing it. I don't know if it was actually poisonous or they were just being silly. But yeah, they got me on that one. But yeah, that is one of those things. Let's see. Let's see if I can see the comments. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Stuart says, don't pick the wrong one. That is true. Yeah, so I was in Helsinki yesterday and today. And today they had the Flag Day for the Finnish Defense Forces. So there's a big parade downtown, so I got to see that. So you got one of the art museums right over there. You can go check out. I mean, that's what's nice. You can just walk up and down the river, hang out with your friends, have a tipple at one of the cafes, and you'll see people walking down. And you can there's still some nice buildings here. I mean, yes, a lot of things have burned out over the years because Turku had some bad luck with that. But what's nice is there is still some architectural gems that are out there that you can see. I don't know. Let's see. Mark Filling asks, it's been warm in Europe lately. How's the temperature? So here in Finland, I think it's in the 70s. So it was 21, 22 Celsius when we got here, which doesn't sound super hot, but when you're not used to those kind of temperatures, that's why you see everybody out. I mean, when I got into Turku this afternoon, I changed from a quarter zip and pants I had on for the train to shorts and a t-shirt. And now that it's almost 8 o'clock, I went back and changed back into a quarter zip and jeans because it's starting to cool off, because it may still be sunny, but it doesn't mean it's warm in the evenings here. So yeah, Prague will be warm, and then with all the tourists there as well, it'll feel extra warm. So one thing I want to tell you is when you come to Finland, you'll see everything has two names on it. So it says Turunlinna and Obuslot. So Turunlinna means Turku Castle in Finnish, and Obuslot means Turku Castle in Swedish, because there's two official languages here. So you have those two. And don't worry, I think more people actually speak English than Swedish, the second language. There's only certain parts of the country where you still have a number of Swedish speakers. Technically, I guess Turku would still be considered a pretty big Swedish city or Swedish speaking city in Finland, but I mean, there's Obo Academy. There's a Swedish high school here I had friends that went to. All kinds of stuff. Now, you'll see they have all the, little scooter rental things. In Helsinki, you can rent a bike for a day for $5 or for a week for 10, or the entire summer for like 35. It's pretty cool. But this is basically what everyone does the entire summer. Get off, head to the river, and just chill out here. Or if they have vacation time, they'll actually go to their summer houses and you hit up the sauna, and then you go, naked and go jump in the lake or go jump in the water if you're out in the archipelago. So, kind of a funny thing. Let's see. Some more things over here. Now, the river goes down a ways to the castle because you're going to be taking the ferry in from Sweden, or if you're on a cruise ship that comes into Turku, you don't actually come right into downtown. You're down at the castle, which is probably another kind of couple miles down this way. And the walk down, you can walk the entire way down along the river. And what's cool is there's a certain part where they have these little tiny mouse statues about this big, just randomly put along the way where you find them. So it's kind of fun. We did that with the kids. They had a good laugh doing that. But there's also a number of boats you can go see. And there's actually a museum for boats you can go check out. A sea museum you can see along the river. You can actually go into some of the boats as well. And have like a boat tour of what it was like. I know it was a whaling boat, but something. See, everyone's just enjoying their day walking around. Bikes everywhere. The only theft you'll have is maybe somebody taking your bike here. It is a super safe country. You do not have to worry about pretty much anything, which is really nice. Lots of nature. They're nice to kids here too, which is always a plus, which I know you're like, well, aren't people mostly nice to kids? I'm like, well, you'd think that, but not everywhere is nice to travel with kids. This is one of those places. So, go over here. So, one of the main museums is that building right up there. We have some other cool architecture around. See, just like everywhere, people just leave them around. At least they kind of group them together so they're only kind of in the way. Versus where I live, where they have the bikes and people just like, the weirder they can put a place, the better. Now, if you're thinking of coming here in the evening, there's a ton of bars being bipeded, and actually, if you look across the way, you'll see some boats that are actually kind of like bar boats you can go to and go have a good time out. But there's clubs here you can go to, and the party, they go out late here, like they stay out late, I should say. So there'll be bars open to the wee hours in the morning. And don't worry, the sun will be up when you get out because it's Finland and we're so far north, the sun comes up really damn early. So there is that. Now, there are still some wooden buildings, you see, and there's actually a few places you can go. You see some, kind of historic Finnish buildings where they've kind of moved down here. And so you can see, it's on the other side of the river farther down, but I just wanted to show you some of the riverboat stuff. Sorry. Yeah, this gimbal is going to be interesting because I want to do these lives as we go different cities just to have a little kind of walkthrough and answer some questions. But I know this is on our small channel, so people, if you have questions, you can ask them and I can try to answer them here because there's not a lot of people sending them. Now, one thing I want to show you, see if they have it. Oh, ice cream. Yeah. They have it. Salmiakki. So they have all kinds of good flavors of ice cream here, but one thing they love here in Finland is salmiakki, which is black licorice. And if you don't like black licorice, you're not gonna, your Finnish friends aren't gonna like your candy choices because they will melt it down, like the hard candy version, they'll melt it down and mix it with koskenkorva, like a vodka kind of thing. Or you might get it in different flavorings, like in ice cream, which was just horrible. Just horrible. I'm like, why would you ruin ice cream like that? So, let's see. Had any problems with the airport queues? So in Amsterdam and here, no, didn't have any issues. Well, I didn't have any issues for me. But I know getting into the airport in Amsterdam, probably for the entire summer, is going to be hell because they don't have enough workers. So on the weekends, it's just going to get out of control. And I know the last couple of weekends, Amsterdam actually stopped selling. KLM stopped selling tickets to fly out on the weekends because they had so many people get backed up. And when I was at the airport looking, there was tons of flights that were delayed or canceled, and people are missing their flights because it's taken 2 or 3 hours to get through security in Amsterdam. Dublin, the line to get into the airport was taking hours. I mean, it was in the news. I mean, and things. We're not even at vacation time yet because European vacation time usually starts about July. So it's gonna get worse. JJCJ, I got my husband gummies because he loves gummies from one of the countries that eats salted black licorice. It was an unpleasant surprise. Yeah. So we always trick people with yes, with the salmiakki. Like, oh, let's do a taste testing of Finnish candy. And the boys had heard me talk about it from living here. And so they kind of had an idea what was going on, but they tried and I think Liam just spit it out. But we brought it back for some of their friends. Yeah, their friends weren't very happy with them. It was pretty funny. But I already bought some salmiakki to take home for people to try and see if they like it. If you like black licorice, it's your jam. But if you don't like salt-flavored vomit, bleh, yeah, salmiakki ain't for you. But, yeah. Let's see, what other questions we have? Yeah, Stuart's like, same thing in Denmark. Let's see. Population of Turku? I don't know. I think maybe 250,000, I think. Are Joss the boys with you? Not yet. We are going to meet up later. I was supposed to go to Barcelona, but my flight's to see a friend of mine, and then he had to go to London for work and couldn't, so we had to switch that. So then I was trying to get to Barcelona, and then my flights got canceled and delayed and everything, and then I couldn't get to Barcelona, so I just got myself sent here to Finland instead, and it seems cool. Especially since I used to live here years and years ago. So it's nice to come back. And it's funny because really when people are like, has anything changed? I'm like, no, there's not a lot that's changed. The same clock is over the main square, and I'll get there. Though they're they're theoretically finishing putting a parking lot underneath the main square here. They just got to finish putting it back together. So hopefully that'll get done. But as you can see, this esplanade goes on literally like another mile. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And at the end, you'll have there's be a museum and there'll be a castle you can see, and it's actually worth going into. I always enjoyed going into the castle here. Wolters, yeah, Whiskey Bar has not changed. No, it has not, Jocelyn. It has not changed at all. Let's see. Yeah, JJCJ. Yes, I already don't like black licorice, but that is another level. You are 100% correct. It is another level of disgusting when you have salmiakki black licorice here in Finland. But the locals will be like, how don't you love this? It's amazing. I'm like, no, it's not. So you see there's a little windmill you can go see up there and some more historic things. And people have their little boats. But then everyone's just kind of chilling on their boats having a drink. Got a guy, busker playing some music over there. A little pedestrian walk. I think we'll walk in and go walk by the market hall, which is closed by now, but still worth seeing. Oh, it's a rare name. Yes, Jocelyn, really. So I'm going to guess you had the same trouble when you try to. You're like, how do you spell that? I'm like, it's pretty straightforward, but people always mess it up. I know my mom had a hard time. She's like, Jocelyn? I'm like, no, she's not some dude that plays golf, okay? It's Jocelyn, not Jocelyn. So that was always one I always kind of chuckled about. My aunt said that too for a while. Then I put it out there. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I get it right this time? So, kind of funny. Yeah. Anyway, so some other things I would say when you come to Finland. Well, son. Chris likes the salty black licorice. Well, you're just a salty dog. That's why, Chris. So, if you really need to get a new gimbal, because this thing is just garbage. So another thing is when you're coming to Finland, Um, Getting around the country is pretty easy. The train system's super easy, super efficient. Like, they probably have the best buying tickets in a country website that I've ever had. Because I mean, I like Bond.de because it gives you all the like different options and all kinds of stuff and all the trains all over Europe. But just buying tickets in Finland, dude, it's like vr.fi. Like, it literally is put the town you're coming from, where you're going, and it gives you your options like that entire day, and you just pick right there. It was cool on the trains here. If you don't want to sit by anybody, you can pay like an extra like 15 euros and the seat's free. Like, you get that seat. And they actually have private rooms, so you could get a private room for your train. Like, if they're for a 4-seater or a 2-seater, it's it's pretty funny. And man, they do not want you to talk, because there's actually, the train I was on today, they actually had a compartment in the train where if you want to talk on your phone, you got to go in the compartment and shut the door, because no one needs to hear you. So it was pretty cool. I had a good laugh at that one. There may be a video coming out for it. Justin, yeah, my wife spelling is the most common way to spell mine, but without the E. It's a male name in French. Oh, cool. Moomin World's in Turku? Yes, it is. Well, it's near Turku. Yes, I was actually by the store earlier today. So, because they have a Moomin store in the mall. There, that Stockman is up there. There's a mall, and up there they had it. And I was like, oh, peekaboo, little Moomins, gotta go get them. Yep. So here's a nice. That's the thing, is the fires here. Even some of the stone buildings from before were destroyed. And so that's why you don't have a lot of the old historic kind of buildings here. You do in other places. But one thing I will say is, if you're coming to Finland, they really love design, and so you'll see fantastic architecture. Like, Helsinki's got so much cool modern architecture. There are some things here in Turku, but not like at Helsinki. Helsinki is next level. They actually have a design museum there, which is really cool to check out. And then of course the Kasma, the Modern Art Museum there, Contemporary Art Museum, is probably one of the best in the world. And if you're not really big into modern art or contemporary art, they really do a good job of helping you get educated for it. So that's cool. Hey, if you're watching this, can you do me a favor? Can you give me that thumbs up real quick, just so we can get more people watching these lives? Because I figured it out. Doing the lives are fun and everything, but like on a Saturday, I can't do a live and put out a new video because they kind of cannibalize each other. So what I thought we're going to do, I think what we're going to do now, is do our walking lives here on our Shorts channel, just so, hey, what's it like walking through Turku, Finland, or we'll probably do one in Klaipėda, Lithuania, or Bari, Italy, or someplace, just so people can have that kind of look, and we'll just talk about our times there and answer questions as they come up. But if you give that like, then it's more likely people will get this shared if they're looking things for Turku or whatever, and then we can have people do that. And I want to see, what are some things you'd like to see, on these walks? Right now, I'm just, I went from the cathedral down the river, and I'm going to the main square, just to give you an idea what's here. I mean, it's not a very big city. It's like 250,000 people, but, some places have more stuff to see, but I just kind of want to do these like little walk-arounds. So people are going to come here, they have a feeling for what to expect. My mom has a Welsh first name. This one's, just the fact that you said your mom has a Welsh first name, I already had to chuckle, because I'm like, oh, that's going to be one that's tough. That's going to be one that's tough. The buses here in Turku will get you wherever you want to go. If you want to go to Nantili or out to Moomin World, you can get there. There's buses that'll take you out there, which is nice. Catherine, we'll actually walking from one tourist spot to another, okay? That's one I think we could have done when we were in, when we were in Paris. I think it would have been a good idea for us to do one of those then. Because then to see just how far it is to go from, Notre Dame to the Louvre, to Champs-Élysées, to the Arc de Triomphe, to the Eiffel Tower. It's like 8 miles, or 8 kilometers. I mean, it's far. So, I think that's a good idea. Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, everybody, for your suggestions. Oh, Chris Bates, honestly, I just love the walks. No destination needed. That's cool. I think this is fun because towns like Turku, people don't really usually think about coming to. So you can kind of walk around and give people a feel for it. It's like, oh, maybe I'll go for a day, because it's like an hour, it's like 2 hours on the train from Helsinki, so you can do it as a day trip. you just want to come by and stop by and see things. Next up, if you want to know where I ate all the time when I went to school here, that Hesburger right there is where I ate all the time. My first host family and I didn't really see eye to eye, let's just put it that way. So I would eat dinner here by myself for probably 3 months. And I still highly recommend studying abroad. I will say there's good things about the internet these days. Being able to talk to people and share stuff a lot faster than back in the day. But yes, the Hesburger, the Käsehamburgerleini, which is their version of a Big Mac, is amazing, but it's their paprika mayonnaise is the good thing. Now, this building here is the Kauppahalli, which is it's the market, in the indoor market you can go to and get food there. It's not open right now, but I'll probably go in there tomorrow if it's open. Saturday. So maybe it's not open on Sunday. Dang it. Well, yeah, not open on Sunday. So maybe we'll go Monday morning. But it's worth stopping in if you're going to be there. Let's see. Elena, this is great. I feel like I'm there. Oh, I'm glad. Hey Mark, so cool to see you in the streets of Turku. Haven't been to Finland yet. Global Nico, it's worth checking out. I did a Don'ts of Helsinki yesterday, so I have some shorts coming from Helsinki for the next few days. Yeah, JJ, CJ. Yeah, you need to space things out for the algorithm, and it's harder to get views on a live. Lower views on one video reduces the chance of getting more views on the next. Exactly. That's exactly why. So that's why we're really trying to. Because I like these walk videos, I like doing the lives, but I know that it really actually hurts our channel quite a bit in terms of viewership. Like we had a live that got 100,000 views because YouTube was sharing it. Like it was just basically YouTube showing our lives. I'm like, I would rather if YouTube showed like the Don'ts of Finland or something, because that would have been a lot more helpful for tourists than the live I had, you know? But the live's helpful for people asking those questions. So that's why I think we're going to move most of the lives here to do that. Like we'll still do the occasional, like at the house in the library kind of lives. We'll do those on the main channel, but I think the walks we're going to have on here, because I want to do quite a few walk kind of things, and they might be when you're in bed. You can watch us later to get a feel for it. But I had a friend of mine, when I was an exchange student, her host family were like, her dad was like the president of the bank, and so they got to stay at the apartment at the very top there, which is kind of cool. A little work going on here. So if you see anybody going by and they look like they have like a sailor hat on, that's what you get when you graduate high school here. So and this is graduation season. So you'll see kids, you'll see students that'll have it on. So here, they're working on the square. They just put a garage underneath, and so they had to finish cleaning all that up. Almost had it. Almost. So you got your, just like everywhere, you got your mall, which everybody likes to go to. See our buddy. There you go. Oh, so there's the hat I was talking about. You'll see there. And there's always some pubs around. Actually, there's a pub I used to go to all the time right up this way. But there's still a few, like the market stalls will be in there during the day, so you can go to pick up flowers or go to get something. Usually there's some other snacky doos in there too. You are very comfortable talking to the gimbal, especially this gimbal that I'm totally making fun of because it literally is a piece of poo-poo because it's not really working very well. Great way to keep up your exercise momentum with all the walking. Yes, that was another thing, is I do the walking anyway. And a lot of times, like doing these lives like this, like right now, where the sun is and where I'd want to film, I can't really do any of my tripod videos. I can do some shorts, but I figure if you're going to be walking around, just walk around, do a live. And that's why it's nice, like these little lives walking around. You can make them 15 minutes or a half hour, or an hour of walking or whatever, but it also makes the walk a lot more cardiovascular when I'm talking the entire time. Let's see, Curb Grind on Ollie Air. I see Chris played Tony Hawk back in the day. Hey Chris, glad we can do a live. Hey, better than you, 502. So you see, one of the things is when the weather gets better, all the outdoor cafes pop out. In the wintertime, you don't see that, obviously, but actually some places you will see it. They'll actually have the little heaters out there so you can go do stuff. So There's a little festival going to be here next week. One thing I would say, if you're going to come to Finland, they have really good festivals, but they're in June and July. Those are like the big ones. Like here they have Ruis Rock, which is their rock festival you can go to, which is really fun. It's out on one of the islands. So there's some good stuff to do. Sean Smith, do you know if you need a digital health pass to visit France? You do not. All you need to do is before you fly, and if you're coming from the U.S., you will just upload your CDC vaccine card for on Delta, your airline, and that's all you need. You actually they have it so you don't have to show the digital card anymore to get anywhere, unless you're like going to the hospital or something like that. You do need a test to come back to the U.S., but any pharmacy will do that, and it's super simple. We actually have a video on here that goes through the quick nature of that, or is it on the Wolters World channel? One of the two. Exactly, Nico. You got to take advantage of it. They do here. I'll give that to them. Like once the weather's nice, they're out. But it's funny. Like so, when I used to live here, I was thin and exercised, and I would run on this street, and my friends would say, "Yeah, people saw you running. They thought you were crazy. Like something was wrong with you. Like you were touched in the head or whatever they used to say." And I was like, "No, I was exercising," and they just didn't get it. It was pretty funny. It was a long time ago. So Stockman is like a Macy's, but like nicer. Like that's a department store here in Finland you can go to if you're looking to buy stuff. Now, apteekki, that's your pharmacy. And I'll tell you, Finnish language is super, super difficult. It was funny, when I went to study abroad, when I was in high school, they're like, yes, everyone will learn the language of where you're going to go, except for the people going to Japan and Finland. Don't even try. I'm like, probably not something good to tell a bunch of high school kids, but that's how it works. So it is a bit of a complicated language. Yes, Sue, it is great to be traveling again. Hey, Bubba, good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. There's some park benches back a bit ready to be used for push-ups. Yeah, I'll get there. My hotel has a 24-hour gym, which is kind of cool. So I'll probably hit that, not tonight, but I'll hit that tomorrow. Because tonight the sauna is open from 8 until 10 for men and 6 to 8 for women. And what you need to know is when you do the sauna here in Finland, it's sauna, not sauna. You're not cutting anything. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So, see? Nice people here. So, yeah. So, yeah, see? Nice people. So, when you go to the sauna, okay, you're going to be naked. Okay, and it's the same sex kind of thing, so there'll be guy time and women time. And the thing is though it's naked, or to talk about, there's nothing sexual about it. And if you do, it really kind of offends people, because them going to sauna is like you taking a bath or going to the shower or going to the bathroom. It's just one of those things you do. So just realize that there's nothing like crazy for them about going naked in the sauna with 30 other guys or whatever. That's just what we do. Which, you know, when I was 17 and an exchange student here, it was me in the Rotary Club. That was kind of funny. So, oh, I see you too, Jocelyn. Let's see. Yeah, I'll turn it around so you can see where they're working. So back in the day, the square here, all the buses went around here, so it was really cool. So since all the buses came through here, it's a centralized location. So you get here, boom, get another one to be gone. Super, super efficient. I think every town in the U.S. could learn from Turku's bus system because they knew what they were doing, but they're finishing this up. And for anyone that lived here in Finland in the last 30 some odd years, there's a bar right there called the Whiskey Bar, which was a place that I went to many, many, many times. Actually, it was funny. When I lived here, I would go to the Whiskey Bar, and I went there enough they would give me the remote control. But we would watch The Bold and the Beautiful. So have beers, watching Bold and the Beautiful many, many, many nights. Many, many nights. Mark, did you get that plan? I am interested. Sorry, Chris, we got an insurance plan that just covered, quarantine costs. It looked like the house. Yeah. Sorry, different Mark. So yeah, we got a few things. We have an insurance company we're talking to about working with some sponsorships and doing things, because they actually have tailored coverage for people. So that's one I think is better than just one size fits all. But we're negotiating right now this stuff. So that was my grandma's favorite soap opera. Of course it was, because it was amazing. Anyway, so I just want to show you all a little bit of where I used to live. And it's funny. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see it because it's not focusing, because it's focused on the fence. If you look up there, there's a little clock there. And I actually have a picture from 1995 when I was living here. Yes, it's been a while, people. And on it, it had the time. And it said 10:30. And you're like, you think it would be 10:30 at night because it was pitch black. It was 10:30 in the daytime because that's how it is when you're here in the winter. I mean, it's cool in the summer because you have sunlight until 11 o'clock at night and it's up at 3 in the morning. But when it's winter time, like you go to school, it's dark. You get out of school, it's dark. You go to work, it's dark. You get out of work, it's dark. It's just dark all the time and depressing in November here. Ooh. Dark, depressing, and wet. Not even snowy, but just wet and nasty. It's not good. So come in the summer when you come to Finland. It's a fantastic place. And Turku, I hope you like seeing, around the city where I used to live. Yeah. It looks a lot prettier than this last little image here, but I've always enjoyed it. And if you're watching this live, I'll be at the whiskey bar here in a little bit having some beers and remember the good old times. So let's see. I see you all are talking about insurance, so I'll just keep going a little bit longer so you can finish your conversation because this thing will eventually turn itself off. So yeah, the darkness and the cold. And the thing is that your first year here, you don't mind it as much, but I can understand why there's really high suicide rates later on because it gets really depressing with all the darkness. So do have a heads up. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you for walking with me, getting a little exercise in to help me stay on course to lose some more weight because my 2 weeks before on this trip, I kind of fell off the wagon a bit, and then my trainer had to call a week off and got to get back in shape, got to get back on that horse and keep riding, keep exercising to keep getting healthier so we can keep making travel videos and showing the world. So everyone that hopped on, we really appreciate it. Hit that like button before you go so we can develop more. And just to let you know again, for those that came on late, we're going to be doing more of these random like live walks on the Wolters World Shorts channel just to show places around in different locations around the world where we can just talk and walk or just walk around and have that. So I appreciate everybody being on here. I wish you all the best, and I will see you on our next one. I might do one in Helsinki. I don't know if I'll get to do one in Helsinki because of my flight, but we'll do one in Lithuania later this week or next week. So you'll have that. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate it. Thanks, Nico. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it, buddy. Anyway, I'm going to see if I remember how to stop one of these live things with my phone because I'm sure I have a bat in the cave because now I'm like leaking because of all the walking and heat and stuff. I got here late, Bubba. It's all good, man. Love, babe. Oh, yeah, Jake. I love you too, Justin. You have a good one. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you later.